This is Joe Pugh for IFL TV. We're here at the Genesis Cinema, Mile End, East London. Spencer Oliver, how are you, mate?
Joe, how are you, mate? Is this your sort of manor? Is this where you're from?
I'm Essex, but yeah, it's just...
I didn't know if you was around from this way.
Yeah, got a little twinge of this way, mate, but well, we didn't know we was actually going to be here 2 days ago. Just gutted, really, isn't it, that Boatsi, Aziz, we was all waiting for it, and now hopefully rescheduled by the end of the year?
Yeah, will it be rescheduled by the end of the year? I reckon we're more likely to see that at the beginning of next year, if I'm totally honest. Sort of spoke to Dan Aziz today. He come on TalkSport. He was excellent on TalkSport today, actually. I think it was important for him to get his message out there for all the people. The rumours circulating that, did Dan Aziz pull out? Like, how would he do an injury, a back injury, sustain a back injury on the Tuesday of fight week, etc. But he come on there and he explained how that happened. He was in his final training session. He felt a twinge go in his back as he was just doing a bit of shadow boxing and recognised that he had a big problem, and it got worse through the day. He went to see a specialist and he pulled out. A fight of that magnitude, you're only going to go in there if you're 100% right. I think it's very unfortunate for Dan. Anyone that knows Dan Aziz, by the way, would know that he's one of those guys that's not Dan Aziz. He don't do that. He won't. He's not. That's not his style. I mean, he won't put out fights. He's Southern area, English, British, Commonwealth, European. Guy's done it the hard way. He's learnt on the road. He's gone in the other guy's backyard. Last thing he's going to do is pull out on a final eliminator to box to Bivol against Joshua Boatsi, unless there was a legitimate reason. And he's absolutely gutted. He's out. And I'm gutted as well, because like you say, Joe, listen, that was a great trade fight for fight fans who know that was a brilliant fight. WBA number 1, number 2, respectively, going in and getting it on. So the right to fight Bivol is, that was going to be a great fight, man. I'm absolutely gutted about that. Luckily, the show was saved with Isaac Chamberlain and Mikhail Lawal, because, and that's a great fight as well. And I think that's how they have managed to save the show, just because there's a great chief support in there as well. But I also want to say that I feel so sorry for Joshua Boatsi and the hard work he's put in as well, because no one sort of mentioned that. The hard work he's put in, and for this fight to go away, it is a postponement. Speaking to Dan, do I think it'll happen this side of Christmas? No. He was hopeful of that, but I truly believe, after speaking to him, that I think that it will happen more likely in January, February time.
You've spoke to him. Obviously, the fight couldn't take place this Saturday, but just how serious is that back injury?
Oh, he said that it's serious enough not to go ahead with the fight. Yeah. But not serious enough that it's not like sort of career-threatening or anything like that. He's done some ligaments in his back. It's a freak accident. He's done some ligaments in his back, and he just needs time to rest, and rest is key. But obviously when you rest, you've got to get yourself back into shape again. But it's so important that you get that rest period right. Because if you try to go into it too soon, you're going to go back to square one again. So you have to let that fully heal and then get on with it again. So yeah, look, it was bad enough for this fight not to happen, but you understand that with the magnitude of this fight and what was on the line and what you've worked for and the way that he's worked for it, like I say, on the road, winning all those titles, you're not going to go in there unless you're 100% right, and so he couldn't.
With bad news, there comes some good with the deal that Boxer have got with NBC. Kind of just makes Boxer's presence kind of known in the US now, would you say?
Absolutely, and it was important, with the collapse of Showtime and HBO going as well, it's sort of like struggling over in the States with different broadcasters, different networks, etc. We got DAZN over there, but obviously Eddie Hearn doing his thing with DAZN globally, and Oscar De La Hoya doing his thing with DAZN over there as well. So NBC is a great platform, for Boxer. And gives these kids a great opportunity as well, and obviously Peacock is their streaming site as well. So it's really good, man. It's really good. It's I'm pleased for Boxer. It was a great move forward, great stride forward for them, and breaking another market.
Spencer,
Historic moment.
Historic. I didn't get a chance to catch up with you last week in Manchester. What did you make of, first of all, the event as a whole, KSI versus Tommy Fury, and the main event, the fight, how it all played out?
Listen, as an event, I enjoyed it because I know what it is. There's a home for it, right? Don't get me. This is crossover boxing, right? But so it's like white collar boxing. No more than that. You see some of them actually not even good enough to be white collar boxers on the card. But they've all got their own platforms. They've got their own thing. They've all got massive numbers, and that's what it's all about. Boxing, yes, is the umbrella of it. Does it disrespect the boxers or whatever? Not really, because like I say, it's got its own home for it. It's not professional boxing. None of them could ever be professional boxers. I think the problem is that when they name professional boxers, like they're calling out Canelos and this and that, and I understand why they do it. Because like I say, it's clickbait, it's numbers. Do you know what I mean? But I thought, yeah, as an event, it was great. It's great entertainment. The numbers are absolutely huge, as you've seen, Joe. But there's certain things that need ironing out, like the press conferences. And I get what it is and I get what they're doing. But like some things going too far, John Fury getting his arse out, KSI spitting, that sort of stuff, you go, whoa, you need to pull it back a little bit here, boys, because on one breath, KSI is telling me, you know what, Spence, the reason I took up boxing was because my life was going down the wrong path, and, you know, I had no discipline, no direction, and I found boxing, and boxing led me into that, and it taught me the life skills that I needed, but also I recognise that I've got 50 million people plus on my platforms, and I'm an inspiration to them. So by me boxing will inspire some of them to get off the streets, put down the guns, put down the knives, and get on to do something healthy and good, and that will take them on the right path. Well, you're saying that one thing and then spitting at a geezer on the stage the other thing, so you're showing off the wrong things, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does.
So I think he recognises that. I think that, you know, just tempers rose and John doing what he's doing, and yeah. But I like what they're doing. I think that, but like I say, there's a home for it, and just don't get it mixed up. Like, it doesn't bother me when, you know, people are saying, you get a lot of bad criticism. I get a lot of bad criticism saying, how can you back this? Well, it is, da 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 da. It's not boxing, mate. It's not professional boxing. It's two totally different things. I think what can boxing learn from that is that self-promotion, we live in a world where self-promotion is key, right? I don't care what you are, and they go, well, what if I'm not good in front of a camera? Learn it, mate. You need to, because that's the world that we live in right now, right? Everything is about, like what we're doing here. Everything's about numbers.
I think some boxers are lazy in that respect.
Not lazy. I just think that they haven't got the confidence maybe to do that. They don't feel comfortable in front of the camera. Well, you know, back when I was boxing, you're right.
Quite good all there in the background.
You're right there, mate. You're learning something here. You're getting educated here.
Back when you was boxing.
Yeah, you.
Hold on, we're going back in history now.
You was fucking old then, mate.
I was young and good looking.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but self-promotion, it wasn't about that. It was about how good you was in the ring, and you built from there. But now it's about, you know, if you're big outside the ring and you can fight as well, you become a superstar. That's the world we live in. You know what I mean? It's like, so I think that's what boxing can learn from there, is to get yourself out there more, promote yourself a little bit more. Especially if you're good inside the ring, then you're going to be, you know, it's going to help you massively.
You think Tommy Fury won the fight?
Could one of them subjective scoring, really. Like, none of them, like, Tommy was the one that was forcing the fight, that's for sure. He was the one that was trying to force the fight. KSI was doing this, like, jumping up and down like he had a pongo stick up his arse or something. I don't know what was going on there. But that's probably a best way of describing it, isn't it? Flapping his arms up and down, jumping up and down, and not really, and making it very awkward. But Tommy was trying to force the fight, tying up. Who won the fight? Could have gone either way, if I'm totally honest. It was really one of those fights. KSI had a great start. Tommy probably had the better finish. Draw possibly would have been the right result.
Just last thing, Spencer, just want to get your thoughts on a subject you've been outspoken about, Conor Benn versus Chris EUBANK Jr. Yeah. It looks like it's going to take place on the 23rd of December. Eddie Hearn spoke to us on Saturday in Manchester and said Millennium Stadium, 70,000 fans. Do you think it does go ahead, and what are your thoughts? Should it be going ahead?
He hasn't got a licence for the British Boxing Board of Control, so I don't know how that does go ahead, if I'm totally honest, in the Millennium Stadium. I think it could go ahead, obviously, in the Middle East or somewhere like that. But I think that Conor still needs to sort out these problems he's got here. And I know the appeal, they're talking about the appeal, British Boxing Board of Control have appealed that. That doesn't look likely to happen until January time. So I'm not sure how Conor would be able to box here in December time. I really don't know that, if I'm totally honest. Do I want to see it? Definitely not. I want to see him clear his name before I want to see that. I've got no appetite for that at all, because I think it's put boxing in a bad place, in a dark place. Do you know what I mean? For the casual fan that was watching this, you go, well, it's all right then to foul 2 tests and just continue doing it like it never happened. I know he's always pleaded his innocence, but we've never seen it. You can't throw narratives out there, here, there, and everywhere about it's his fault, it's their fault, or whatever. We need to see the proof, mate. And the proof is, like, I thought you got scientists that have proven now that it couldn't, you know, that it's in his system through contamination, etc., etc. Still not seen that, have we? So I just think it's bullshit, if I'm totally honest. It's all bullshit.
Would you be comfortable covering that fight if it were to take place with what we know now?
Well, no, I don't want to see the fight. I don't got no appetite for the fight at all. You know, because there was a fight it was one of those fights that we wanted to see because it was like reliving the, Chris Eubank Senior and Nigel Benn, and I thought, great, this is brilliant. Conor Benn's the most improved fighter. In reality, we didn't think it was going to happen. It was a fantasy fight. We thought it would never happen, and we was getting it. And then with what's happened, listen, we're in a sport, mate, where people, get injured and people even lose their lives. So we want a fair playing field. And so until Conor's cleared his name, why do I want to see him going in with big fights with Chris Eubank Jr. and all that, and walking out there growling with everyone and whatnot? Nah, fuck that, man. I don't want to see that shit. I want to see him clear his name, and then I'm happy to see it. Then I'll do it if he clears his name. But I don't look likely that's going to happen, if I'm honest.
Spencer Oliver, thank you very much for being to IFL TV, and I'll see you tomorrow, mate.
Cheers, mate.